As a teenager myself, the issue that I would like to raise is my opinion as an Indonesian adolescent of foreign cultures exposure. Consisting of over 300 ethnic groups, dozens of local languages, and tons of social backgrounds, our country has always been depicted as a melting pot because of these facts. It becomes so diverse. But my questions are, will it be enough? Can young people help one culture complement the other without the viable support of foreign cultures? Well, I strongly believe foreign infusions play an important role in keeping our culture from being stagnant or stuck. For example, back when Western music was invigorated by Indonesian music, our society proceeded to assimilate these two cultures into a more evolved one. This shows how the influence helps indigenous culture develop itself. However, let's not forget that cultures can sometimes spread immature behaviors that can go against our true nature as Indonesians, especially among adolescents, since it is the time when we undergo lots of changes. That explains why we become so confused where to focus or follow. Now, I'd like to give my point of view as a student on a simple yet controversial foreign infusion that has the biggest influence on teenagers. Movies. I like to think that movies have bidirectional influences on our society, which means there's like a mirror reflection in both sides. If we take a closer look at it, we will realize that the way movies affect society is depending on how society reflects in movies. And what we have to remember is that almost every province in Indonesia still holds strongly to their conservative beliefs. It was far more stodgy back then. Imagining if someone could time travel to the 70s era to show our previous generation on the present situation of our society, no one probably accepted it, or they would even be infuriated. This response is also similar to how people, even my parents, react to Western movies nowadays. Negative stigmas are spread around them. Some say they provoke the rebellious side of teenagers. Others just despise and label them as useless stuff, full of immorality. Well, quite the contrary. Most teenagers in our country enjoy watching them, especially now when they are easily accessed every day and every time by Netflix, the home movie. Not to mention that these days, several platforms offer a good deal for online movie subscriptions. When you ask me, I myself also prefer spending my night just accompanied by the entertainment from movies. And if most teenagers love to watch Western movies, it doesn't mean that we are rebellious or we don't respect our culture. It's merely because we have different points of view. Because there are thousands of good movies which offer some decent and positive quality content. These kinds of movies have totally given us another perception. In other words, an alternative way to be a more open-minded individual. Not to mention that Western movies have something that local movies don't. For example, as a modern youngster, I'm happy to admit that some Western movies have stood up for women empowerment, and some also demonstrate how important it actually is to look after teenagers' mental health. On the other hand, terrible movies normalize murder, robbery, abuse, rape, and etc. At times, such movies promote those concerning scenes implicitly. It seems as if they want to distract us with the intriguing storyline, and we end up ignoring the violence in the background. Let's not waste our time reflecting on these kinds of movies. As teenagers, we should already know which one is good for us and which one is not. And I believe movies are like this powerful weapon. How our society thinks can be swayed by them. And if one of us happens to be a future movie director, we should start thinking about the consequences of the movie we're making. What influence will it have? And how to make a striking impact with our movie. And even if our movie doesn't have a striking impact, it won't pull down society back to its stone age. Same goes for other foreign influences on our society. A society's perspective is expanded by the help of other cultures, and chances for learning and development are presented. I believe it's not easy to deal with a new culture. It's not instant to adapt our culture and apply it in the midst of the rapid flow of modernization. But one sentence that I always remember: there can be no life without change. And to be afraid of what is different or unfamiliar is to be afraid of life itself. Change is hard because people overestimate the value that they have and underestimate the value of what they may gain by giving up. At the end of the day, our culture owes a favor to all foreign cultures that have passed through it, because foreign infusions are one of the crucial elements for social evolution. Just like the quote says, every aspect of Western cultures offers a rational ethic as a precondition of rebirth. Thank you for your attention and have a great day.